What's going on, guys? I haven't made a video in a while, so I wanted to go ahead and record this conversation that I can have with you as I'm on this drive to one of my properties. So I've been very busy with real estate, very busy with business, and you know what? I just figured, hey, let me put something out there. It's been a while, so let's talk about it. I want to go ahead and go over relationships, business, entrepreneurship, how it all ties in, especially in your 20s when you're looking to build something meaningful. You know, you have to be able to take everything into account, because as you view these three pillars, right, we call it, you know, health, relationships, and wealth. Each decisions that you make in each of these buckets will reflect upon your life, right, in all areas of your life, right? If you start eating a shitty diet, then you're going to have brain fog and you're not going to be able to function well, and you're not going to be respected because you're going to be fat, and you're going to be the guy that walks into the room that everybody looks at and says, this guy doesn't have discipline. This guy, you know, just fucking eats whatever the fuck is put in front of him. This guy is a fucking loser. If that's who you want to be, then you're going to have to now deal with the relationship options that you'll get by living that life, if you even have any kind of relationship options. As you guys know, now in 2025, a lot of men aren't getting any fucking play, right? A lot of guys are just struggling. A lot of guys aren't dating any women, talking to any women. And why is that? Well, because of the choices that they've made that are parallel to other areas of your life, right? And then business ties in, right? If you're just... the first job I had was at McDonald's, right? I was 15 years old and I worked at McDonald's for maybe like a couple of months. But imagine if I stayed in that position. Imagine the Jose Rodriguez that you know now still works at McDonald's. Like, everything that I have, it just wouldn't have happened, right? I would have probably been dating uglier girls. I would have made less money. My physique would have probably been shit, because being around that environment, I'm susceptible to eat very unhealthy. I mean, even if I had the discipline to not eat garbage, I would still be doing a huge disservice to myself because of the experiences that I'm exposing myself to, right? What kind of experience would I have working at McDonald's as opposed to the experiences that I would have working in real estate? What kind of opportunities would I attract working in real estate as opposed to working in McDonald's, right? So all of these things feed into each other. What kind of relationships would I create by working at McDonald's as opposed to working in real estate, right? It's a night and day difference. So I think that everybody has to be cognizant of that, right? And think to themselves, am I really doing the best that I can for myself right now? Am I really positioning myself in the best opportunity that I have? Or am I just living a fearful life, afraid to take the next step because I don't want to fail, because I don't want to lose, because I don't want my family to think that I am a disgrace? What is the reason? What is holding you back from being that individual, being that person that can succeed in life, right? Not just with your wealth, but also with your relationships, with your health, with your physique, with your mindset, with the relationships that you build with guys and girls, right? So I want to talk about that because that's very important. You know, my life looks very different because of it. And I think that one of the main distractions that young men are facing today is the shit that they see on social media, pornography, just being consistently distracted, scrolling. Like, all of these things are taking time away from you, right? Which is the most important thing. I could talk about how it relates to money. I could talk about how it relates to your social life. I could talk about how it relates to, you know, having an attractive woman that you actually like. I could talk about all that, but the most important thing is time. The other day I was driving by my high school and I was just smiling. I was like, man, you know, it's interesting because I remember going to this high school and then everybody graduated. Everybody took that picture holding up their diploma and had a conversation about all the amazing things that they were going to do after they graduated high school. Some kids were going to go to college and get this degree and become a doctor, a surgeon, this, whatever. Other kids like myself were going to pursue a more entrepreneurial route and create a business and make a shit ton of money and live financially free and do all these different things, right? So everybody set out to do a certain thing. But how many people actually pursued those goals? How many people actually pursued those dreams? There are so many college graduates that have a degree sitting on the shelf collecting dust, not even doing anything with it, right? So the decisions that you make in life are very fucking important. If you're gonna dedicate yourself to do something, you gotta go all in. And I remember I was going out with this girl at the time. Maybe I was with her for about 2 to 3 years. And when I got my real estate license, she wanted to go out, she wanted to party, she wanted to go out and hang out with friends. And what did I do? I cut my ties. I was like, baby girl, this ain't for me, right? This is not what I'm about to do right now. I'm young, I'm 18. I might as well go out there and get it rather than going to clubs, going to bars, wasting my fucking time with friends. The only friends that I want to be spending time with are the friends that are building with me. Those are the friends that I want to spend time with. Not to just get shit-faced at a bar and talk to a fucking four and hope to get some playtime with her, right? It doesn't attract me. It wasn't attracting me. And even with me being in a relationship with her, I don't just want to go on vacations and waste my time and energy on doing what? I want to be creating wealth. I want to be adding value to my life. I want to be a more valuable man. And why should that be important to her? Well, because if I'm a more valuable man, I'm more resourceful, I'm in better shape, I have a better mindset, I have better connections, I have better access, I could provide better experiences. That is also going to leak onto her. Her being a loyal, respectful woman in my life, I'm going to take care of her 100%. However, if she can't support the vision, she has to go, right? And that's what I think a lot of young men are having a trouble grasping, especially the guys that get into a relationship with their high school sweetheart and they're afraid of letting go of her, right? Like I had to let go of her because she wasn't on board. She wasn't on my type of time. And that's what you got to do if you're in that situation. Oh, I can't go hang out with you, bro, because, you know, my girl doesn't want me to leave the house. It's like, bro, we're over here talking about business at my house and you're afraid of what your girl has to say about it. Like, grow a fucking pair of nuts, right? Lead the relationship. What kind of girl is going to respect a man that is afraid of leading the relationship? Whether she trusts you or doesn't trust you, if she doesn't trust you, number one, you have to start over, bro. Either she has to go or she has to learn to trust you as you make the moves that you need to make. And if she sticks by you, great. If she doesn't stick by you, she has to go, right? Time is the most important thing that you have. Why allow a woman to suck up all of your time, all of your energy, and just live a mediocre life? Is that really what you think you were put on this earth to do? Is that really the life that you envision living after graduating high school, even before graduating high school? I think that inherently everybody wants to be a fucking baller, right? I mean, that's what I wanted to do. If you don't want to do that, okay, cool. You want to live a regular life? All right, fine. But it is getting harder and harder for men to live a regular life. A lot of these women wouldn't even fucking look at you, right? You're invisible to them because now social media has globalized the dating marketplace. So now all these women are looking at the guy that has the money, that looking at the guy that has the boat, or looking at the guy that has the charisma, the wit, that isn't a regular guy. And you don't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire, but you have to get yourself together. You have to have your shit in order. You have to at least have good game. You have to at least be charismatic. You have to at least have something going for yourself, some kind of passion that you're dedicating yourself to, right? I have my police detector here just in case I don't get pulled over, right? That's what happens when you get a sports car. These cops are just smelling blood in the ocean, right? When they fucking hear your car. So I got to make sure I'm ready, right? Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. But it's just so interesting how, you know, guys just fall for that spell, right? They believe that they aren't worthy of their dream, of their vision, because they have this woman that is literally hypnotizing them to believe that they are worth less. And that's a big fucking problem. Especially a man in your 20s, you got all the opportunity in the fucking world. You don't got to rush that, right? You don't got to rush getting into a relationship. Build your skill sets, build your value, work on your charisma, work on your social intelligence, work on your connections, work on your access, work on your money, work on your life, work on everything. That's what your 20s should be dedicated towards. And let me tell you something. I've never lost a girl for working on my craft. Yes, some of them have excused themselves, but in regards to losing, no, I've never lost anything. They've lost me. And that's the thing, because the more that you ascend in levels and in ranks and in skill sets, the more they're just going to fucking miss you. And that's what you got to be about. You got to be about the guy that never gets left. You're the guy that leaves. You're the guy that pursues his mission and pursues his dream relentlessly. And they could either jump on the ship or get the fuck off. And that's got to be the attitude, right? You're not missing out on anything and you're not losing anything. You see, the difference between guys and girls is that if you're a woman and you're beautiful, you have all the opportunity in the world, right? As long as you're not ran through. Even then you'll get called in on the boat, but it won't be permanent, right? But you'll get some opportunity, right? And maybe you'll get cuffed by a simp down the line that you won't really respect, but that's another conversation. But as a man, you don't get beauty privileges, right? It's either you have it or you don't for women. For a man, you have to work for it, right? So if you don't have it, the good thing is that you can work for it, right? So in your 20s, if you don't have it, why not fucking work for it? And if you have it, why not work for more? I mean, what the fuck else are you going to do with most of your time? Yeah, sure, experience life. That's okay. Experience your life. But that should only be 20% of your time. 80% should go towards building something, because I don't know about you, but when I've indulged into too much pleasure, my life craves for purpose, right? It just is like, all right, like I got to get back on the phones and close another fucking deal, right? It always feels that way. And every time I am indulged in purpose, the pleasure just feels much more better, right? Anything that I do for pleasure, it just exponentially feels better. The experiences are better. The wine tastes better. The cigars are smoother. It's just like everything in life becomes more colorful and flavorful, right? But when you're living your life as a fucking degenerate 24/7, it's like your mind becomes cluttered, right? You become purposeless. So now your soul becomes dull. You become empty. The conversations that you have aren't the same. People start to think that there's something fucking wrong with you. You start to come off as a fucking retard. And it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't think that's attractive. I don't think that's respectable. I don't think that's honorable. I just think that's fucking retarded, right? So don't be fucking retarded. Work on yourself. Be a degenerate for 20% of your life. The rest, work, purpose, mission, grind. That's what it's got to be about. And guess what? Every single one of those girls, right, that chose to bet on another horse are going to see you ascend in levels in every single way. And it's pretty fucking hard to compete with that. You could have a guy that's making a lot of money, but if that's the only field he ascended in, he's not going to attain the same level of respect as the guy that ascended in every aspect of his life. He doesn't just have more money. He's also in a fucking incredible shape. He's not just in incredible shape and has money. He's also very charismatic. He's not just very charismatic, has a great physique, and is making a shit ton of money, but he also has a lot of connections. Like, all of these things are just going to add layers of value into your life. And if you're breathing today, you have the time to go after it and do it. You just have to have some patience. And it's okay for you to go through the times and endure the times when you're not getting any pussy, because you're focused on your grind, because you're focused on your purpose. And then every now and then step out the house, calibrate your game, calibrate your social intelligence, right? Meet women, have friends, meet friends, right? Do all these things. But you have to understand what season of life you're in today, right? Because I'm also not the guy that's going to tell you just focus on money and fuck everything else, because I think that that is also lacking meaning. What is the point of having $1 billion in your bank account if you don't get to enjoy it, right? There's no point of that, because the only things that you're going to actually value when you're 90 years old laying in your fucking deathbed is the memories that you have, right? It's the people that you spend your time with, is the things that you did during your time. But you also have to strategize towards the future, right? You also have to live big and the only way to live big and live a crazy fucking life is also to be resourceful. You can't get around that, right? You don't want to be the guy that is weighing down the pack either. Let's say you're rolling with a bunch of ballers and you're the only guy that's fucking broke. Like, you got to have money too, right? You got to make money. So now you have to look at where are you in life today and what are you mostly lacking in, right? And that's what you got to focus on. If you're a fat piece of shit and you're also broke and you have no girls, the first thing that you should work on is getting a fucking gym subscription and start lifting some fucking weights. Sign up to some boxing lessons. Start to learn the discipline of defending yourself, of living a certain life that conditions you to purpose rather than just being a fucking dopamine addict and just scrolling, watching porn all day, getting distracted all day. Actually attain the life that you want. Don't just be hypnotized by all the shit you see. Tap out of social media for a little bit, right? And just focus on the things that you got to focus on in life, because that's what's going to bring more meaning to your life. That's going to make you feel better. And it's not only going to make you feel better, but guess what? Once you shave off a couple pounds, you're going to start feeling better about yourself and you're going to start to make more money. How does that even intertwine with each other? Well, let's think about it for a second. If you're in a better mental space because you're more confident in yourself now, right? You're more attractive. You're more respectable because it's a journey. And you can even document the journey, right? And post it online. I was a fat motherfucker and now I'm in shape. Now when people see that, they're going to give you the respect. They're going to give you your fucking flowers, right? They're going to be like, yo, this motherfucker got himself in shape and did what he had to do, right? So now when you walk into a room, everybody's going to know that you had that scar, right? Shit, this guy did this and it was something that, it was respectable. Great. Well, now you're going to have more opportunities. Now you're going to be more driven. There's a lot of positive things that are going to come from that, right? And now it could also leak into your relationships. Well, if you're here to tell me that a fat fuck is more attractive to a woman than a guy that's in shape, you're fucking delusional. You're retarded, right? That's like saying that you're more attracted to a fat bitch than a girl that actually has a good body, a good physique, right? Like it's just a lie, right? And you have to stop lying to yourself. And that could even be placed as the first thing. Stop fucking lying to yourself. Stop making excuses for yourself. Stop painting yourself as the victim and recognize that you're the guy that has to improve. You have to be accountable, right? You have to have extreme ownership over your life and look at every variable in every aspect of your life and say, this is my fault. It's your fault. And you know what the beauty in that is, right? Because we as men, we don't get the beauty privileges, right? I talked about that. But the beauty in that is that because you could take accountability and take extreme ownership of those things, you can also create whatever the fuck you want in life. You could create whatever reality, whatever design, whatever it is that you want. You just have to work for it, right? So you have the ability to do that, while a lot of women don't. So the fact that you have the ability to do that, that's what you should be investing 100% of your time in, right? Maybe you take 20% to fuck off. Okay, cool. We all do it. But most of your attention has to be focused on building, right? And little by little, you will notice that you will start to attract more attractive partners. You'll start to attract more attractive women. You will start to attract more attractive opportunities also with networking, right? You'll start to meet men that are actually valuable and that could jump on a business venture with. And that could be your segue to maybe even becoming a millionaire. But you have to start somewhere. Can't just expect that shit's gonna magically fall out of the sky and land on your lap. It just doesn't work that way, right? So appreciate it, surrender to it, accept it, and become the best version of yourself. I don't mean that in a fucking corny way. I mean it in a real way, right? Because it's possible. It's not going to be possible if you're just sitting around twiddling your thumbs and thinking that shit's going to magically just happen to you. The world doesn't work that way, right? So be happy that you could actually make a change in your life. Start surrounding yourself with badass motherfuckers that are also going after it, right? So I talk about the built from pain, right? We embrace the pain. We embrace the journey. We embrace everything that we have to go through in order to reach the top of Mount Everest, right? Not everybody gets to reach the top. A lot of people quit, right? A lot of people quit before they even start. They recognize that the journey is going to be hard and difficult and they walk away. These are your advantages. All of this is your advantage, right? You'll win just because you fucking showed up and you actually put in the work, right? The showing up isn't just enough. You ain't gonna get no fucking participation trophy. You also have to perform. But guess what? When you perform and you fucking suck, you go out there again and you start swinging. And then you suck less. And then you continue to swing and you suck less. And then eventually you'll actually be good. And you'll be capable of generating fruit from your efforts. But if you quit, it's just like, bro, you're just wasting your fucking time, right? You might as well not even fucking gotten started in the first place. So don't just start something to quit. Start it to finish it.